Olivia Reed never thought she would be the first human to meet aliens. She was a pilot for Earth's space defense team. She was good at her job, but nothing prepared her for what happened that night. It was a quiet evening in the Nevada desert. The stars shone brightly above. Olivia was doing a routine patrol in her small shuttle when her radar picked up something strange. "Base, I'm seeing an unknown object," she said into her radio. "It's big. Really big." Her commander, Samantha Wright, responded quickly. "Can you see it? What does it look like?" Olivia looked up through her window. There it was, a huge ship hanging in the sky. It glowed with a soft blue light. Unlike human ships, which were bulky and practical, this vessel was sleek and beautiful. It looked almost like it was made of crystal. "It's like nothing I've ever seen," Olivia told her commander. "It's not moving, just hovering there." "Be careful." "Lieutenant," Samantha warned. "Keep your distance. We don't know if it's friendly." Olivia nodded, even though no one could see her. "I'm going to try to communicate with it." She pressed a few buttons on her control panel, sending out a standard greeting message on all frequencies. For several minutes, there was no response. Then, something changed. A part of the alien ship began to shimmer. It looked like a section of the hull was melting away, creating an opening. "Base, the ship is opening," Olivia reported, her heart beating faster. "I think they're inviting me in." "Lieutenant Reed, maintain your distance," Samantha ordered. "Wait for backup." But Olivia felt something she couldn't explain, a strange certainty that this was not a threat. "I don't think they mean harm. I'm going closer." She guided her shuttle toward the opening in the alien ship. As she got closer, she could feel a gentle pull, like the ship was helping guide her in. "I'm going inside," she told her commander. "If I don't report back in 30 minutes, send help." Before Samantha could object further, Olivia's shuttle entered the alien vessel. The opening sealed behind her, but somehow she wasn't afraid. Inside, the ship was even more beautiful. The walls seemed alive, glowing with soft colors that changed slightly as she moved. The air smelled sweet, like cinnamon mixed with something she couldn't name. Gravity felt different here, lighter but not uncomfortable. Olivia left her shuttle and began to walk down a corridor that lit up as she approached. "Hello?" she called, out. "I come in peace from Earth." No one answered, but the lights in the floor pulsed as if showing her which way to go. Olivia followed. The corridor led to a large room. The walls displayed what looked like live images of distant stars and planets. In the center of the room was something like a throne, made of the same crystal-like material as the ship. And on that throne sat the most striking being Olivia had ever seen. The alien was tall, nearly 7 feet in height. Her skin shifted between deep purple and blue, with patterns that seemed to move like slow waves. She had 4 eyes, all silver with no pupils, yet somehow Olivia could feel them looking at her. The alien's face was almost human-like, but more perfect, more symmetrical. Her hair was silver and seemed to float slightly as if underwater. When the alien stood, Olivia realized she'd been holding her breath. "Welcome, human," the alien said, but her mouth didn't move. The words simply appeared in Olivia's mind. "I am Lyra, princess of the 7th house of Astria. We have traveled very far to find your kind." Olivia tried to stay professional, even though she was amazed. "I am Lieutenant Olivia Reed of Earth's Defense Force. Why have you come to our planet?" Lyra moved closer, her movements graceful and fluid. "We come with important news. Your world is in danger." "Danger? From you?" Olivia asked, her hand moving to the gun at her side. Lyra shook her head. "Not from us. We are here to help. There are others coming. Others who would destroy your world as they have destroyed many worlds before." Olivia wasn't sure if she should believe this alien princess, but something in Lyra's manner seemed sincere. "I need to report this to my leaders," Olivia said. "Yes," Lyra agreed. "They must be told. Time is short. But first, let me show you proof of what I say." Lyra waved her hand, and the images on the walls changed. Now they showed different ships, dark, angular vessels that looked threatening. Olivia watched as these ships attacked a beautiful planet, leaving it broken and burning. This was one of our colony worlds, Lyra explained. The Vorshan Imperium destroyed it 3 of your years ago. They are moving through the galaxy, consuming everything in their path, and now they have set their course for Earth. Olivia felt cold fear run through her. How long do we have? 2 of your months, Lyra said. Maybe less. Why would you warn us? Olivia asked. Why do you care what happens to humans? Lyra's expression softened. Because long ago no one warned us. We lost many worlds before we learned to fight back. We have been following the Vorshans, trying to help those in their path. For the next several hours, Lyra explained more about the threat. She showed Olivia technologies that could help Earth defend itself. She spoke of a possible alliance between humans and Astrians. When it was time for Olivia to return to Earth with this news, she felt both terrified and hopeful. The world was in danger, yes, but they weren't alone. I will return tomorrow with representatives from our government, Olivia told Lyra as she prepared to leave. We will be waiting, Lyra replied. There is much to discuss and little time. As Olivia flew back to the base, she wondered how Earth would react to both the news of alien contact and the warning of coming danger. One thing was certain, nothing would ever be the same again. With only 20 days left before the Vorshans would arrive, Earth had changed. People who once fought each other now worked together. The skies above every major city showed strange new ships, both human and Astraean, patrolling and preparing. Olivia now had a new job. She was captain of the EAS Defiant, Earth's first ship built with Astraean technology. Her crew was mixed, half human, half Astraean. It wasn't always easy. The 2 species thought differently and had different ways of doing things, but they were learning to work together. Captain Reed called out Lieutenant Diane Foster from her station. The Astraean ships are signaling. Princess Lyra wishes to come aboard. Tell them she's welcome, Olivia replied. Minutes later, Lyra walked onto the bridge. Most of the crew had never seen her in person before. They stared in wonder at her shifting purple-blue skin and 4 silver eyes. Your ship is impressive, Lyra said, looking around. A perfect blend of human and Astraean design. We couldn't have built it without your people's help, Olivia said. But we still need to test the new weapon system. Would you like to join us? Lyra nodded. Together they watched as the Defiant's crew tested their new main weapon, a device that could bend space itself to tear apart enemy ships. It worked perfectly, destroying a test asteroid with ease. If only we had more ships like this, Lyra said quietly. We're building more, Olivia assured her. 3 more will be ready before the Vorshans arrive. It may not be enough, Lyra admitted, but it gives us a chance. Later that day, Olivia and Lyra met with Admiral Heather Mills, the commander of Earth's fleet. They reviewed the latest defense plans in a secure room at the Earth Defense Headquarters. The Vorshans will likely approach from this direction, Lyra explained, pointing to a 3D map of the solar system. They prefer to use Jupiter's gravity to slow down before attacking the inner planets. Then we'll set up our first line of defense. Here, Admiral Mills decided, marking a spot near Jupiter's orbit. We can use the planet's moons for cover. They spent hours planning the defense of Earth. Every ship, every weapon had to be in the right place at the right time. There was no room for mistakes. As they worked, Olivia noticed something about Lyra. The princess never mentioned retreat or surrender. For her, this was a fight to the end. Your people could still leave, Olivia said when they were alone. The Vorshans are coming for Earth, not Astria. Why risk everything for us? Lyra was quiet for a moment. 5,000 years ago, when the Vorshans first attacked us, we tried to run. We thought we could save ourselves by hiding. We were wrong. They hunted us across the stars, world by world. Only when we finally stood and fought did some of us survive. She placed a hand on Olivia's shoulder. If they take Earth, they will only grow stronger. Then they will come for us again. This is not just your fight. The days passed quickly. Ships from all over Earth joined the defense fleet. Some were old and had been quickly upgraded with Astrian technology. Others were brand new, built in the past few weeks using alien designs. 10 days before the expected arrival of the Vorchons, the combined fleet left Earth orbit. Hundreds of ships, large and small, human and Astrian, formed up near Jupiter, just as planned. Aboard the Defiant, Olivia addressed her crew. I won't lie to you. The battle ahead will be the hardest any of us have ever faced. The Vorchons have destroyed many civilizations before, but they've never faced humans and Astrians. Fighting together, the crew cheered, their different voices blending together in a show of unity. That night, unable to sleep, Olivia found Lyra in the ship's observation room. The princess was looking at distant stars, her expression sad. Thinking of home? Olivia asked. Thinking of all the worlds we couldn't save, Lyra replied. The Vorchons have been moving through this part of the galaxy for centuries. So many civilizations lost. But not Earth, Olivia said firmly. Not if we can help it. Lyra smiled, her skin rippling with blue patterns that Olivia had learned meant appreciation. Your confidence gives me hope, Captain Reed. Please, when it's just us, call me Olivia. Very well. Olivia. Lyra's voice in her mind seemed warmer somehow. Can I ask you something personal? Olivia ventured. Of course. When you show yourself as you truly are, your insect form, can you still see as we do? Hear as we do? Lyra seemed pleased by the question. Our senses are different, but comparable. Our compound eyes see more of the light spectrum than yours. We hear through sensors on our bodies, not just through organs on our heads like you do. Will you show me? Just for a moment? Lyra touched the device at her throat. The air shimmered, and her insect form appeared. Up close, Olivia could see that what looked like a hard shell was actually covered in tiny iridescent scales. The compound eyes reflected the starlight in fascinating patterns. You're not afraid, Lyra observed, her mental voice unchanged. Why would I be? Olivia asked. It's still you. Lyra changed back to her human-friendly form. Most species react with fear when they see us as we truly are. That's why we created the appearance technology thousands of years ago. Do all Astrians use it? Most do when dealing with other species, Lyra said. But some, like my sister Kira, prefer to show their true forms. She believes real understanding can only come from honesty. I'd like to meet her someday, Olivia said. I hope you will, Lyra replied. Their conversation was interrupted by an alarm. Olivia rushed to the nearest communication panel. Captain Reed here. What's happening? Long-range sensors have detected something, Captain, came the urgent reply. Multiple objects entering the solar system at high speed. Olivia looked at Lyra, whose 4 eyes had widened. The Vorchons, the princess said. They're early. Within minutes, Olivia and Lyra were back on the bridge. The main screen showed dozens of black ships moving into the solar system. More appeared, every moment. Battle stations, Olivia ordered. Alert all ships in the fleet. The enemy has arrived. Across the combined fleet, alarm signals sounded. Ships moved into defensive positions. Weapons were powered up. Shields raised. Admiral Mills appeared on the communication screen. All ships prepare for combat. May God help us all. Lyra stood tall beside Olivia. It begins, she said simply. The first wave of Vorchon ships accelerated toward the fleet. They were black, angular vessels that seemed to absorb the light around them. They moved with strange precision, like parts of a single organism rather than individual ships. They're within firing range, reported Lieutenant Foster. Olivia took a deep breath. The moment had come. Earth's first battle against an alien threat. Everything they had prepared for was about to be tested. All ships, she commanded. Fire at will. 3 days passed since Olivia first met Princess Lyra. Earth's leaders were in shock. 12 large Astrian ships now orbited the planet. Some people were scared. Others were excited. Everyone had questions. Olivia became the official go-between for humans and Astrians. She spent most of her time on Lyra's ship, learning about the aliens and their world. What she learned worried her more each day. "Show me again about the Vorshans," Olivia asked as she sat with Lyra in the ship's main room. Lyra waved her hand. A three-dimensional image appeared in the air between them. It showed many black pointed ships moving through space. "The Vorshan. Imperium has been traveling for 50 years since they first detected your radio signals," Lyra explained. "They move from system to system, taking what they want." "But what do they want?" Olivia asked. "Resources? Land?" Lyra's 4 silver eyes blinked slowly. "They want you. Your people. All living things on your planet." Olivia felt cold. "I don't understand." "The Vorchans believe they can become stronger by taking the best parts of other species," Lyra said. "They don't just kill, they harvest genetic material. They use it to change themselves. To them, every new world is just raw material to improve their race." Olivia stood up and walked to the window. From here she could see Earth hanging in space, blue and beautiful. "And you're sure they're coming here?" "Yes," Lyra said, joining her at the window. "We have tracked them for decades. Their course is clear." "Why help us?" Olivia asked. "You could have just warned your own people and stayed away." "Because 5,000 years ago no one helped us," Lyra said softly. "The Vorchans attacked Astria without warning. We had many colony worlds then. Now we have only 3. We have been following the Vorchans ever since, trying to warn others before it's too late." That evening, Olivia and Lyra stood together on the ship's observation deck. The view of Earth and the stars was amazing. Olivia found herself looking, not at the view, but at Lyra. The alien princess truly was beautiful. Her skin shimmered with colors that seemed to change with her mood. Her silver hair moved gently, as if floating in water, even though there was no wind. The patterns on her skin looked like slowly moving stars. Without thinking, Olivia asked, "Why are you so beautiful?" As soon as she said it, Olivia wished she could take it back. It seemed too personal, too direct. Lyra turned to face her. All 4 of her eyes blinked in surprise. Then, to Olivia's relief, the princess laughed. It sounded like small bells ringing. "We are not," Lyra said. She touched a small device on her throat. The air around her shimmered. Suddenly, Lyra looked completely different. Her body was now more like an insect's, with a hard, shiny outer shell. Her head had large, compound eyes like a fly. She had 4 thin arms and 2 legs. Olivia stepped back in shock. Then, curious, she moved forward again. "This is how you really look?" "Yes," Lyra said. Her voice sounded the same in Olivia's mind. "My people learned long ago that our true appearance often frightens other species, so we created technology that makes us appear beautiful to whoever sees us. It helps with diplomacy." Lyra touched the device again, and she returned to the form Olivia was used to seeing. "You're not upset?" Lyra asked. "Surprised, but not upset," Olivia said. "Actually, I think it's clever, and it explains why every human who has met you describes you slightly differently." Lyra nodded. "Each sees what they find most appealing." "Your reaction," Lyra continued, "is why I believe humans might survive what's coming. You feel curiosity, more than fear. That is rare and valuable." Back on Earth, the news about the Vorshans spread quickly. Some people didn't believe it. They thought the Astrians were lying to trick humans into giving them something. Olivia was called to a big meeting with world leaders. Lyra came with her. The room was tense as Lyra explained again about the Vorchan threat. "For all we know, these aliens made up this enemy to manipulate us," shouted General Catherine Porter. Many others nodded in agreement. Lyra remained calm. "The Vorchans will reach your system in 63 days. With our help, you have a 38% chance of defeating them. Without our help, you have no chance." The room went quiet. Dr. Elaine Dawson, Earth's top scientist studying alien biology, stood up. "I've examined the samples the Astrians provided. The evidence supports everything Princess Lyra has told us. The Vorshans are real, and they do the horrible things she described. After many hours of debate, Earth's leaders voted to work with the Astrians. Preparations began immediately. Over the next few weeks, Olivia watched as human engineers worked with Astrian experts. Together, they added alien technology to Earth's ships. The Astrians taught humans how to make better shields and weapons. Olivia spent more time with Lyra. They weren't just working together now, they were becoming friends. They talked about their home worlds and found many surprising similarities between their peoples. Humans value being individuals above all else, Lyra observed one day. Astrians think more about the group as a whole. Yet both approaches have led to great achievements. Maybe that's why we work well together, Olivia suggested. Different strengths. Lyra looked serious. We will need all our strengths for what comes next. As the days passed, more Astrian ships arrived to help with Earth's defense. But everyone knew it might not be enough. The Vorshans had destroyed many civilizations before. Their fleet was huge, and they had been improving themselves with the genetic material of dozens of species. Olivia often found Lyra working late into the night, studying battle plans and defense strategies. Sometimes, the princess would let her true insect-like form show when they were alone. Olivia realized it was a sign of trust. Do you think we can win? Olivia asked one night. I think we can survive, Lyra answered. And sometimes, survival is victory enough. The countdown continued. 50 days until the Vorshans arrived, then 40, then 30. Earth prepared as best it could. But would it be enough? 1 year had passed since the Battle of Sol, as people now called it. Earth had changed forever. Humans were no longer alone in the universe. They had fought alongside aliens, and together they had won. Olivia, now Admiral Reed, stood in the Nevada desert. She was at the exact spot where Lyra's ship had first appeared. A large monument stood there now. It was made of earthstone and Astrian crystal mixed together. On it were the names of everyone who died in the battle, both humans and Astrians. Lyra's name was written at the top, in both human letters and the flowing script of her people. The sun was setting, painting the desert in gold and red. Olivia came here often, sometimes to remember, sometimes just to think. Earth was different now. Humans worked with Astrians on many projects. They were building new ships together, exploring space together. Some humans had even gone to live on Astrian worlds. She would have hated this, said a voice behind her. Olivia turned to see Kira, Lyra's younger sister. Unlike Lyra, Kira chose to show her true insect-like form to humans. She believed that real friendship started with honesty. The monument? Olivia asked. Being remembered as a hero, Kira explained. Her voice, like Lyra's, appeared directly in Olivia's mind. My sister always said that true nobility isn't about big sacrifices, but about small kindnesses every day. Olivia smiled sadly. That sounds like her. Kira moved closer, her compound eyes reflecting the sunset. The diplomatic team found something interesting in Lyra's personal records. She mentioned you often in her reports. She believed humans and Astrians would create something better together than either could alone. As if to prove this point, a new ship flew overhead. It was one of the latest models, built with technology from both worlds. On its side, written, in both languages, was the name Lyra's Promise. The Vorshan survivors have retreated beyond the Cygnus arm of the galaxy, Olivia said. Our scouts report they're regrouping, but it could be 20 years before they're a threat again. And we'll be ready, Kira replied. Both our peoples. As darkness fell, the monument began to glow from within. This was the special property of the Astrian crystal. It absorbed sunlight during the day and released it at night. The names of the fallen were lit with a soft blue light. Around the monument, humans and Astrians stood together. Some were paying respects to lost friends. Others were simply curious to see the famous memorial. What struck Olivia most was how normal it all seemed now. A year ago, the sight of an insect-like alien would have caused panic. Now humans and Astrians worked and lived side by side. You know, Olivia said to Kira, When I first met your sister,
I asked her why she was so beautiful. I didn't expect her to show me her true form. Kira's antennae twitched in what Olivia now recognized as amusement. Lyra always believed that real friendships begin with truth, even when that truth is uncomfortable.
it seems she was right. Olivia thought back to that moment on Lyra's ship, when the princess had revealed her true appearance. It had been a turning point, not just for Olivia, but perhaps for relations between their species. A moment of honesty that led to trust, and trust that led to alliance. The Astrian Council has approved the joint colony project, Kira said, changing the subject. Humans and Astrians will build a new settlement together on Proxima Centauri b. This was exciting news. The planet orbiting Earth's nearest stellar neighbor had been found to be habitable with a little terraforming. It would be the first world, humans and Astrians shaped together. That's wonderful, Olivia said. Have they decided who will lead the project? They were hoping you would, Kira replied. Both our governments agree you're the perfect choice. You understand both peoples better than anyone. Olivia was surprised. Me? But I'm a military officer, not a colony administrator. You're a bridge builder, Kira said. That's what we need now. The war is over, but the work of peace is just beginning. As they walked away from the monument, Olivia considered the offer. Leading the first joint colony would be challenging, but also deeply meaningful. It would be a chance to continue what Lyra had started, bringing their peoples together. Above them, the stars were coming out. Somewhere up there was Astria, Lyra's homeworld, and beyond that, countless other worlds waiting to be discovered. The universe had proven to be both more dangerous and more wonderful than humans had ever imagined. I'll do it, Olivia decided. For Lyra. For both our peoples, Kira corrected gently. 6 months later, Olivia stood on the bridge of the colony, Ship Harmony. Behind her 5,000 colonists, a mix of humans and Astrians, prepared for the journey to Proxima Centauri. It would take 4 years to reach their new home, even with the advanced engines developed by their combined science teams. Olivia looked at her senior staff, humans and Astrians working side by side. Dr. Laura Chen, the chief medical officer, was deep in conversation with Tella, an Astrian biologist. They were discussing how to adapt the planet's native plants for both species to eat. Chief Engineer Maya Rodriguez was showing something on a tablet to her Astrian counterpart. They were laughing together, despite their very different appearances. This was Lyra's true legacy, Olivia thought. Not just saving Earth from the Vorshans, but bringing two very different peoples together. Admiral, we're ready for departure, reported her first officer, Commander Patrice Williams. Olivia nodded. Signal Earth Control and Astrian Command. The Harmony is ready to launch. As the ship's engines powered up, Olivia thought of something. Lyra had once told her, the greatest beauty in the universe isn't in how things look, but in how they connect. Looking around at her mixed crew, Olivia understood what Lyra had meant. True beauty wasn't about appearance. It was about the bridges, built between different worlds and different peoples. It was about finding common ground where none seemed possible. The ship lifted smoothly from Earth's surface. Through the viewports, Olivia could see their home planet growing smaller below them. Soon they were in open space. The stars spread out before them like a map of possibilities. Course to Proxima Centauri laid in, announced the navigator. Engage, Olivia ordered. The Harmony's engines flared to life, pushing the ship faster and faster until the stars began to blur. They were on their way to build something new, not just a colony, but a symbol of what different species could achieve together. As Earth disappeared behind them, Olivia whispered words only she could hear. Thank you, Lyra, for everything. Somewhere. In the vastness of space, she liked to think Lyra could hear her, and that the princess who had saved Earth would be proud of what her sacrifice had made possible. The journey had just begun. The battle began with a blinding flash, not from the human or Astrian ships, but from the Vorshans. Their lead vessels released a wave of energy unlike anything Olivia had ever seen. It wasn't a normal weapon. It was something that twisted space itself. 3 Earth ships caught in the wave were crushed instantly. Their hulls folded inward as if reality itself was pressing down on them. "What was that?" Olivia shouted. "Space compression," Lyra explained, her voice tight with worry. "It's one of their most dangerous weapons." "The Defiant has Astrian shields," Lieutenant Foster reminded them. "We should be able to withstand it." Olivia nodded. "All ships stay in formation. Fire pattern Alpha." The combined fleet responded. Astrian vessels moved with incredible grace, seeming to predict where the Vorchan ships would go. Earth's ships provided heavy firepower, their enhanced weapons tearing through the enemy's outer defenses. For the first hour, the battle seemed even. Both sides took losses, but neither gained a clear advantage. Then the Vorchans changed tactics. Their ships began to split apart. What had seemed like single vessels were actually made of smaller units. Soon, instead of facing 100 large ships, the Earth-Astraean fleet was surrounded by hundreds of smaller, faster attackers. "They're trying to break our formation," Lyra observed. "Standard Vorchan tactic. They separate their prey, then destroy them one by one." "Not today," Olivia said firmly. She opened a channel to the entire fleet. "All ships, close ranks, protect your neighbor. We fight as one or not at all." The battle moved deeper into the solar system. Near Jupiter, the fleet used the large planet's many moons as cover. Astrian technology transformed Saturn's rings into deadly weapons, sending countless ice particles at the enemy ships like bullets. Aboard the Defiant, the situation was growing dire. 2 direct hits had damaged their main power system. Half the bridge crew was injured. Olivia herself had a deep cut on her forehead that bled into her eyes, but she refused to leave her post. "Shields at 40%, reported an engineer. "We can't take much more of this." "We have to hold," Olivia insisted. "The Vorchan flagship hasn't even entered the fight yet. It's still hanging back, directing the others." Lyra, who had been studying the battle data, looked up suddenly. "That's it. The flagship. It's their control center. Vorchan ships operate as a hive mind. If we can destroy the main vessel, the others will be confused, at least temporarily." Before Olivia could respond, a massive impact rocked the ship. Alarms blared throughout the Defiant. The lights flickered and went out, replaced by dim emergency lighting. "Status report," Olivia called out. "Main power offline," came the reply. "Life support on backup. Weapon systems down." Next to Olivia, Admiral Mills had been thrown against a control panel. She wasn't moving. Olivia checked for a pulse but found none. The Admiral was dead. "Command transferred to Captain Reed," announced the ship's computer. Olivia took a deep breath. She was now in charge of the entire Earth fleet. Around her, crew members looked to her for direction, their faces showing fear but also determination. "Get weapons back online," she ordered. "Reroute power from non-essential systems if you have to." The ship's communication system suddenly activated. Princess Lyra's face appeared on the main screen. She was aboard her royal vessel, which Olivia could see was heavily damaged. "Olivia," Lyra said urgently. "Our sensors confirm what I suspected. The Vorchan flagship carries their central consciousness. It's directing all other ships. If we destroy it, we might have a chance." "But we can't get close enough," Olivia replied, checking the tactical display. "Their defenses are too strong. Every ship that's tried to approach has been destroyed." Lyra's expression became very serious. "There is one way. My royal vessel carries what you would call a singularity core. If detonated inside their defensive perimeter, it will create a temporary black hole." Olivia understood immediately what Lyra was suggesting. "That's a suicide mission." "It is the only way," Lyra replied softly. "My people will survive. Yours will survive, that is what matters." "No," Olivia protested. "There has to be another way. Maybe if we coordinate all our remaining ships for one massive attack." "We've lost too many already," Lyra interrupted. "The Vorchans will break through to Earth within hours if we don't stop them now." The Defiant shook again as another blast hit it. More alarms sounded throughout the ship. "Hull breach on Deck 5, reported a crew member. "Emergency force fields holding, but barely." Olivia knew Lyra was right. They were losing the battle. Desperate times called for desperate measures. Let me come with you, Olivia said. Lyra shook her head. No, your people need you. If this works, you'll need to lead the final attack on the remaining Vorchan ships while they're disoriented. Tears filled Olivia's eyes. Lyra, it has been an honor to fight alongside humans, Lyra said. Especially you, Olivia Reed. Before Olivia could say anything more, Lyra ended the transmission. On the tactical display, Olivia watched as the Astrian royal vessel broke formation and accelerated toward the massive Vorchan flagship. All Allied vessels, Lyra broadcast to the entire fleet, retreat to minimum safe distance. I repeat, all vessels move away from the Vorchan flagship immediately. Ships began to pull back. The Vorchans, sensing something was happening, concentrated their fire on Lyra's vessel. But the royal ship was fast and nimble, dodging through the enemy formation with incredible skill. She's not going to make it, Lieutenant Foster said, watching the display. The royal vessel was taking heavy damage. Yes, she will, Olivia replied. She opened a channel to Lyra's ship. Princess, we're with you. The entire fleet is covering your approach. Indeed, despite Lyra's orders to retreat, many ships, both human and Astraean, were providing covering fire, drawing Vorchan attention away from the royal vessel. Lyra's ship was now very close to the Vorchan flagship. Its shields were failing. Parts of its hull were breaking apart, but it kept going. All ships, final warning, Lyra broadcast. Maximum retreat distance now. The Defiance engines were back online. Olivia ordered full reverse thrust, pulling back as quickly as possible. On the screen, they watched as Lyra's vessel, now little more than a burning wreck, collided with the Vorchan flagship. For a moment, nothing happened. Then space itself seemed to fold inward. Light bent around a growing darkness that consumed both ships. A shockwave of gravity spread outward, causing sensors to go crazy and navigation systems to fail. When the effect collapsed moments later, both the Vorchan flagship and Lyra's royal vessel were gone. In their place was empty space with debris slowly spreading outward. The effect on the remaining Vorchan ships was immediate and dramatic. They stopped their coordinated attacks. Some drifted aimlessly. Others began to move in random patterns. Without their central control, they were confused. Olivia wiped tears from her eyes. There would be time to mourn later. Now they had a battle to finish. All ships, she commanded, her voice steady despite her grief. Target the disoriented enemy vessels. Don't let them regroup. This ends now. Across the solar system, the combined fleet rallied. They had lost many ships and brave crew members. But thanks to Lyra's sacrifice, they now had the upper hand. The Defiance weapons came back online just in time. Olivia personally targeted the nearest Vorchan vessel and fired. The ship, without its defensive coordination, was quickly destroyed. One by one, the remaining Vorchan ships were eliminated. Some tried to flee, but the fleet cut off their escape routes. After everything these monsters had done, after all the civilizations they had destroyed, no one was in a mood for mercy. Hours later, it was over. The last Vorchan ship had been destroyed. The combined fleet, though badly damaged, had won. Aboard the Defiant, the crew cheered. Humans and Astrians embraced, their differences forgotten in the joy of survival. But Olivia couldn't join the celebration. She stood alone on the bridge, looking out at the stars. Somewhere out there, in the place where Lyra had made her final sacrifice, was nothing but empty space. She saved us all, Lieutenant Foster said, coming to stand beside Olivia. Yes, Olivia replied quietly, and I never got to say goodbye.